Hey everyone, Tech here. Welcome to Tech's Tavern. Grab a brew, pull up a chair, and let's do a quick look / first impressions on Expeditions Conquistador. Actually, I probably said that completely wrong. Conquistador. Well, you know what I'm talking about. It's on the screen. But this is a new strategy game that was just released about 2 days ago, I guess. And kind of came out of nowhere because I wasn't really that aware of it overall. If I had to give you the quick, like if you wanted to turn the video off here in 5 seconds, the quick explanation of what it is, I'd say it's a cross between King's Bounty and XCOM, but set in the Spanish Conquistador, conquering the New World, you know, setting. That's about the closest description I could give you. But it kind of has a turn-based combat style of, like, say, the original XCOM, not the newer ones so much. But then also has kind of the overworld map exploration RPG elements of kind of like, say, a King's Bounty more so. But it also has a pretty heavy dose of some RPG trappings going on as well. And for a title from a lesser-known studio kind of coming out of nowhere, it's actually fairly impressive from what little I've played so far. But again, this is very much so a first impressions, and what I thought I would do with this video is kind of just play from the beginning for the first, say, 20 minutes here or so, and just kind of try to give you guys as good a feel of this as I can, and let you kind of see what's going on. And I've kind of played through this already, so some parts I'll try to go through a little quicker to get you to more meaty stuff on the back end. One thing in particular I wanted to point out is when you go to start a new game on this game, it's maybe confusing for some people, is that you come here and it doesn't give you a way to change the difficulty or anything, because you actually change the difficulty under the options, so you have to go in here. One thing that's very interesting about this too is that you can change the difficulty here by the drop down to whatever difficulty you want, and you'll see like some of the sliders down here change. Or you can just kind of manually change them. So you can actually change how many resources you can get, and you can actually change the damage multiplier on your troops or the enemy troops, if you want to try to gauge, artificially influence a more of a handicap or whatever whatever you want. It also has injury probabilities and sudden death. What sudden death basically is think if you've played the most recent XCOM, how when somebody goes incapacitated and you kind of have so many turns until they're dead, that's basically what sudden death is. So, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to leave this on normal here. I'm going to play around with that stuff some more later on my own. But we'll start a new game. Of course, it has Iron Man also, which if a game has Iron Man, you must play with it. And I'm going to go through some of this stuff really quick. You can set up your initial character. You can kind of do some name randomization here. Fidel Ortega sounds good. You have 8 points to spend. Tactics has to do with your setup on your battling and whatnot. Diplomacy has to do with trying to get out of battles through talking. Healing has to do with there's resources in the game, and like one of the resources is like medical resources, and healing has to do with how many of those resources are used when you heal somebody. Survival has to do with your results in hunting, which again there's resources like food resources. You have to actually, when you're on the overworld map with your party, each night you have so many turns, and you have to actually each night give all of your people jobs to do and feed them, and we'll get into that when we get into the game. Scouting is again another thing where you can kind of well, actually it says right there it increases your daily movement, and occasionally grants better information about battles, which I haven't seen that yet. And then leadership, which bolsters the starting morale, which is always good, I guess. So I'm just going to kind of put a couple points in these. Survival, scouting, there we go. Now, the next part, which is pretty crazy, which kind of caught me off guard when I first started playing the game, is you actually build your party here. So you actually have like 10 slots here, and you have all of these guys to fill the 10 slots with. And you have different categories. You have doctors, which basically you're again, referring to XCOM, they're your medics. Although in this game it's very different because you can actually have, which is neat, you can actually have units that are like hurt from other, you know, story-driven things or from a battle, and then after it's over, your doctors can actually treat them over the course of a couple of days or something, you know, while you're moving around and not necessarily in a battle. So they actually can heal outside of battles as well. So, and you actually have to have them to do that. So, we'll hire that one. We're just going to hire. I'm going to hire 2 doctors. Hunters can gather your food. Now, there's different. If you look at them here, if you click on them, you can see there's little differences between them. I gotta pick this guy because he's got a nice beard and a nice hat. Same with that guy. We'll take 2 hunters. Scholars. And again, one thing that I'm not real clear, I haven't played the game enough to see all the different strategies, but you can kind of see right here, it gives kind of like some basic traits, so to speak. And I'm sure there's probably some strategy mechanics there of trying to maybe pick people with more compatible traits and things like that. But again, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to kind of go through here real quick. We'll pick that guy. And then that leaves us 4 slots for soldiers. Actually, let's get... Did we get 2 hunters? Okay, yeah, we did get 2 hunters. Hunters are good in combat because they're ranged units for combat. So when you go into the tactical battles, they basically shoot bows or sometimes muskets, things like that. I guess we'll go ahead and just make the rest of them... I'm just going to kind of randomly hire some of these guys. Trevino. Alright, there we go. So we hired all of our guys. This kind of shows you your basic setup, and then we can begin.
1518. That year, the Maria Teresa left Spain and set sails for Santo Domingo. Each of us had our reasons for going, but on the sea.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and skip that. You get the general idea. It does a little movie there to set it up that you're basically landing in the new world. And like I said, some of this there's some early dialogue stuff here that I'm going to try to click through fairly quickly. There's tutorials, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. As you can see here, you start off, and this kind of gives you that whole King's Bounty vibe. But we're going to go over here. We'll talk to this guy. It does a real good job with the artwork and the portraits and all this kind of stuff. Here, basically, they're saying that they're confiscating my troops and supplies. And what justification do you have? And he just takes it anyway. Is this how you treat all visitors? Okay. Fidel Ortega, remember that name. Alright, first audience. So now this is probably one of my first small beefs about the game is the movement of the camera. It feels a little choppy and restrictive. Like, I can't push any further to the north there. And, I mean, I don't know why they restrict it quite so much to not be able to move a little further. But, it's a little annoying sometimes, especially when you're adventuring outside. What is this all about? You have a nice goatee. These are my people. They serve me. Continue. Okay. Basically, this is just him saying that, you know, this isn't Spain. This is the new world. I'm in charge. You listen to what I say. Okay. So, what will you have me do? And he wants me to go down and do some training with the quartermaster. So this is kind of how the game will start out again. I'm kind of showing you the first couple steps. This guy, he wants you to train. And we'll kind of just click through this stuff again. Send me to take command of my people. I've commanded soldiers before. Okay, we'll have a mock battle. Okay, this kind of will show you then how the battles sort of work. Normally in the real battles, when you get out into the main game world, I believe you always choose 6. But for the purposes of this little quote-unquote tutorial training battle, you pick 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick one of my hunters, so I have the ranged, and then I'll pick 2 fighters, I guess. So we'll go with that. And again, the feel on these tactical battles, for me at least, is very heavily slanted towards XCOM for the most part. Like more of the old school XCOM. Now I'll go ahead and just disable these. And I'll try to describe some of this stuff the best that I can. You can kind of see my guys over here in the blue, their guys in the red. You have these action circles, which the red inner circle is basically showing you that you have an attack, and the blue outer circle is showing that you can have movement. And the movement works the same as it does again in the XCOM games, where you can see here that I can move once within these light green hexes and then still attack, or I can move twice, you know, basically do a sprint and not attack. So I could move all the way to the back over here if I wanted to and not attack. You have a couple other little abilities. Tactical move allows you to move out of a battle when you're standing next to somebody without being counterattacked. So what I'm going to actually try to do with this guy, I think, is I'm going to move here, since he's melee, and get behind cover. So I'm going to let him stay behind cover. Now let's see what's some of these other ones. Spot traps. Okay, and then you have this ability, a weak melee attack that moves the target unit 1 space away from the hunter. Okay. So, oh, actually, that was my... Was that my ranged unit? Yeah, I screwed that up already, didn't I? Well, that's okay. We can go ahead and take a shot here. Now, the green line means that you have an open shot. When it's a red line, that means you're blocked and there's like almost 0 chance that you're going to hit them. And if it has a yellow, that means it's just a lessened chance. So we'll go ahead and take a shot here. Okay, so he hit, but he blocked a little bit of it. Okay, now we'll take our melee, and you can see now that both the circles are gray around him, so that means he has no more move actions, he has no more attack actions. Now my melee guys, I'm going to go ahead and take a chance. I'm going to move him over here. And... actually, I'm going to go ahead and move him twice. We'll leave him out in the open, take a chance. And then this guy, we will... let's see... let's move him all the way up here, so he'll kind of be behind cover and then maybe be close enough to do something on the next round. Okay. We'll just in-turn right there, and let's see what they do. Okay, he shot and missed. And you can move after your attacks on this too. So if you attack first, then you can use your movement actions afterwards, which is different from some tactical games. Alright, they are some terrible shots. So what we're going to do here now, let's take this guy, and let's go ahead and take another shot from here, and then attack with the melee, is kind of my thinking. So we'll take a shot. Okay, he missed. Then we'll move this guy. Let's move him on. Oh, now see, that was a mistake. That was a mistake on my part, and it kind of shows you is if you try to move from a spot adjacent to somebody, they get an attack. You know, like a response attack sort of thing. So I should have just moved to here. By me moving there, I kind of set myself up to get hit, but it's okay. We'll hit him now. Alright, so that worked. Now let's move this guy. I'm not going to be able to move and attack, so, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and just cut them off. And she's ranged, or she's a doctor actually, so if she tries to move away from my melee, he's going to get a free attack. So that's another good thing about it as well. And actually, I'm going to move this guy right there so he's a little more behind cover. Okay. Bastards! Oi! These guys are asking for it. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and attack with this guy. Then, who's he got shots on? I don't have a shot on that guy. I really don't have a shot on that guy, which kind of sucks. So, we'll go ahead and take a shot on this guy. And then, after I take that shot, I'm going to move him back over here to get some cover away from this guy taking a shot. Then this guy, we'll see if we can maybe finish him off. Oh, he barely has a sliver left. Alright, we'll just end turn. Now, he used a tactical move. That's how he was able to get away without getting hit. And basically what happens is when you use a tactical move, you're using all your actions for the most part. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take this guy. Let's move over here and try to get an open shot. And then move back. And then this guy is going to move right here. Because that guy's being a pain. I probably should have moved over there and finished this guy off if I could have, but that's alright. Almost got their doctor taken out. So we'll end turn again. This may go badly. It did. It would have been better for him to have moved that way, but... Alright, let's move here. Try and finish that guy off if we can. Nice. And then this guy, try and finish this one off. There we go. Now, if this was during the regular game world and you had a guy get knocked out like this, as long as you didn't have the death blow thing turned on, you'd be able to, when you get out of the battle, you can assign a doctor to him to fix him up. But since this is kind of a training thing, I don't think they really let you do that. Now, on this one here, this guy's a hunter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move my melee guy right next to him. So then if he tries to move away, he's going to get hit. And then this guy, I'm going to move him back into cover again behind those boxes. And then we'll end turn. Okay, then we'll move this guy back out. We're going to move him a little closer to make sure he gets a good shot. There we go. We can still move him back. Well, we can't get him to cover now. I moved a little too far to be able to get him back to cover. But hopefully this guy finishes him. There we go. Done. And it's saying no injury because it was a training thing. But again, that guy who got knocked down, I would have had to have been assigning a doctor to him if that was in the regular game. Okay, thank you. End event. Okay, now then there's a couple of other little things. You get your guys back. We're going to go back over here. Talk to him. And I'll just say we're at your service. We're not superstitious. They want you to go explore some old ruins. Okay. Yeah, this little event sheet comes up and talks to you, and so it gives you a little bit of a storyline going on, and you can take her as an extra unit, basically. This is our supplies. And indeed. Okay, and some of our supplies are missing. And yeah. Wait for her to speak. Do you have experience in battle? What are your skills? Yep, you can go. That's basically what just happened there. So as you can see, there's a lot of dialogue, though. I mean, there's definitely some story built in. This is the trade resources thing, and this is kind of shows you what the basic resources are in the game. You know, you have these treasure resources, you have food ration resources, which every unit has to eat one ration or food per night. Your hunters can get meat, so that can augment your rations. Medicine is, of course, used, like I've explained, when people get hurt, and your doctors can work on them. And then just general equipment and stuff as well. The treasure stuff is mostly used for trade. So we'll go ahead and go out of that. Let's go ahead and... I just want to get out and show you guys a little bit of what the outside looks like. The captain guy wants to talk to me again. talking about the rations. Thank you. See you later. Alright. So, now, this is where it kind of then changes into sort of similar to, say, your King's Bounty kind of thing. And I'll show you a couple things. You'll see these, like, resources on the map. So I can kind of go over here and you can pick up resources. Or actually, that's a quest, I guess. Up here at the top, you can see there's 25 moves left. That's how many moves you have until you have to camp, basically. Now, I remember seeing a chest down here or something when we were... Yeah. We gained 4 rope. I'm not even really sure what that's used for at this point, but good enough. Alright, this is awesome. We're going to camp like 20 feet outside of the city. Okay, this is how you do the camp mechanic. And at first, when I first saw this, I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I kind of had some misgivings thinking, you know, this is going to be a real pain in the butt if every 5 minutes I have to come in here and set this up. But actually, the game is pretty good about remembering what you did in previous turns, so you can kind of just continue over and over from turn to turn and then just make minor tweaks when you need it. But you can go by each person and set different jobs. So my doctors here, I'm not going to assign them anything right now. I'm going to assign my hunters to hunt, so they will hunt. Right there. And then this is showing you the chance. So the higher the percentage, the better chance there is of you getting good results. And then we're going to set a couple guards to guarding. And then we'll set... we have 1 extra guard now, so we got 5 because of that girl that came with us. And we'll set a couple to patrolling, and then we'll set 1 more to hunting. And this guy, we'll save those. We won't have the doctor or the scholar do anything. Just this. Well, we might as well. Let's have the scholar just hunt. Sure, whatever. That's good enough. And then you have to assign rations. Now, the rations thing, I'm still not sure I'm 100% clear on this, but you can kind of auto-assign rations, and then you can auto-allocate new meat. So any meat that your hunters get, you can kind of assign that first before they take like the regular rations, I believe. So I can do the rations and then go ahead and check this, and then when we get meat, it'll start assigning that. So we're going to camp. And then that shows you kind of what we did. So we gained some valuables, we gained some meat, and I guess we used some medical supplies. I'm not really sure why we did that, but let's move back over here on the road. You travel better on certain terrains. The camera, you can turn the camera a bit, so that's all works that way. And see, that was some herbs, so I'll show you what that was for here in just a second. We can pull up the map and look at our quest objectives as well. Now, there was another quest objective back in town that I didn't take, that you could go to the church there and they wanted you to deliver some Bibles to a city up here or something, but I didn't bother taking that for the purposes of this video. But we're going to just travel around this road here kind of towards this temple, which is our main objective, really. So, here's something else down here, so we'll kind of come down here and take a look. Let's grab this. Chart the outskirts. Oh, that's part of the quest, is we're just charting those outskirt things. Okay, gotcha. That's probably one of them right down there too that we needed to hit, so we won't worry about that right now. Let's get up here to this here, and then we'll camp again. Now, let me switch this back. We got some herbs there, so we can do herbalism. Turn herbs into medicine. So that one plant, that green plant that we picked up earlier, we can now have our doctors do some herbalism, and it will show you down here how many herbs they'll be able to turn into medicine. So if we sign 2 of them, we should be able to get all 7. With 1, we were only going to get 6 out of the 7 change. Now we can get all 7. And then we can, let's see, do we have, nope, that's all we have, I think, right now. And you can see that meat is being assigned from the hunting. So, who is this? That's our scout. Let's have him do patrolling. I don't know why I didn't have him do patrolling the last time. I think I thought he was the scholar. Here's the scholar doing hunting, which is awesome. Alright, so we have everybody assigned to something here, and our rations are being auto-assigned. So we're all set on that, so we'll camp again. Okay, and then here you get little events that pop up that are really cool from time to time like this. So, corpse treasure. Returning from their trip, your hunters report that they came across a corpse in the jungle carrying gems and valuable jewelry. That pig has been eating people that wear jewelry. So we got 100 treasure resource. They decided to give the unfortunate individual a makeshift burial and bring the loot back to your camp along with the spoils of their hunting. Most excellent. Alright, so yeah, but you get little events like that. Like I had an event one time where I think one of my hunters got bit by a spider and was poisoned, and so I had to have my doctor heal them over several days. So you'll get a lot of events like that. But I mean, this is sort of how the game goes. We'll go over here and get some more herbs, so we can make more medicine. And then we have, now this is where the camera thing, like I said, bugs me. I mean, look how limited you are, like, to the camera. I mean, I can only move a very small area, so you rely a lot on looking at the map. I wish this could scroll about 5 times more than it does. I mean, look, I can't even go up any higher than that. That's as high as I can move the camera. It's just crazy. Let's check out what these couple things are. Ooh, some treasure, nice. And then over here, we have some resources of some kind. Okay. Well, we get 6 wood. You can always go down here too and hover over this to see like the log of the actions. So we'll do one more camp, and we got everybody assigned. Food's all assigned, so we just hit camp, and it goes to the next day. So anyway, that's gives a pretty good show of what's going on here. Now this is I'm not going to go through all this because the video is already long enough for a quick look. But here's some more herbs, and there is the temple that I'm supposed to go to. That they wanted me to go explore, and basically it turns into a fight that you have with some natives here. So, and you would go in here, and then it would go to a tactical battle. So, I mean, that's the general gist of the game. It's like I said, it's a similar to a King's Bounty game is the closest thing I would give it to. You know, it has some of the RPG trappings, the dialogue choices, things like that. It has a little more interaction as far as your party and your troops and stuff, but you can also go in here too, and there's different equipped items for inventory and some of the stuff that I haven't really gotten into up to this point. And you can kind of see the morale of your expedition members. You can see that they're healthy and enthusiastic and stuff like that. And so over time their morale may dip, so you maybe need to give them better food or something to that effect. And this is just kind of showing you your quest log and things that you're working on, and of course the settings menu. So but anyway, my initial first impressions are pretty high on this game. I'm enjoying it a pretty fair amount. It seems like it has a pretty good difficulty edge on it. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a pushover. The difficulty is definitely up there, so I'd caution trying to play it on a high difficulty right from the get-go, because it could definitely squish you a little bit. But anyway, like I said, I've been fairly impressed with the game so far. And again, this is Expeditions Conquistador. You can get it on Steam. I believe it's about $20 on Steam. They did have it on sale for about 10 or 20% off, I think. But if you're into this kind of a tactical strategy game that harkens back to kind of the early XCOMs or similar to King's Bounty, this may be something that you like. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the tavern next time.